seconds. And then while I'm doing that, I'll get ready to share it because not everyone gets there. Okay, and we are live. For those just joining in, this is Dusk's leg. He's doing a leg reveal. Dusk is our interviewee today. We're doing a Gaming War Stories interview with Dusk, and we're going to talk about. Now, a lot of people watching this will know who he is, but we'll, for those that don't, we'll get into that in just a moment. I'm just sharing this with my Discord, !Discord. I do have a Discord, yes. Come hang out there. It's the after party. Okay, Hissing's announcements. And we at everybody, all 10,000 people. Shit, I did that on Jokesters once by accident. It's the thing about swapping between my channel and his. Quickly deleted it, but you know, everyone would have got their notification. Still, good promotion for me. Kiwi self-promote.
Okay. That one first.
And then we'll come back here. All right, we've got Mad Duck, we've got Immortal Lee, we've got Raxmay, and we've got Panda and Ems. Okay, the first question, Dusk, is from Ems, and she says, can you say ooh woo?
Can you fuck off?
And there we go. There's your ask me anything, ask him anything, and you got your response. Okay. Playing on a Smurf, got to get leg on. Okay, nice one. Okay, chat. So this is a Gaming War Stories interview. We've been trying to do this for a while, and it's actually happening tonight. And we're doing something. I don't think you've ever seen anything like this before. We are live streaming a live tattoo. Dusk is tattooing himself, inking himself. For those joining in, interested in interviews with people in the gaming community, that's what I do here. I'm Hissing Thoughts. I'm a former investigative journalist for my country, New Zealand's biggest daily newspaper. It was a long time ago, but I still got the skills, and I like putting them to use and finding out more about the people in our neighborhood. Shout out to Sesame Street. And today we have Dusk, DU5QU3, as you all knows him. And I think we'll start with, generally one of the first questions I ask is around the gamer tag. So Dusk, that's your gamer tag, but just tell us about that.
That started because I tried to make an Instagram account and somebody had my name already. Well, such it. Spent some letters and numbers and off we go.
Yeah, and so... Now, when I first met you, just for context, everybody, so I'd become a moderator for Jokester, the Call of Duty Mobile YouTube content creator. Content creator, because at that time he was doing content on both YouTube and another streaming app called Trovo. And I wound up moderating on both. And I actually kind of preferred hanging out on Trovo at that stage because it was a lot smaller. And it had a more of a community feel because there was less people basically, and you were more likely to get your questions answered by streamers if you asked them on the Trovo side of things. And so because I was on Trovo, I started making friends with other moderators and so on, and content creators who were on Trovo. And I'd go and visit others, and there was this consistent presence through a lot of them, which was Dusk here. Dusk was a moderator for a number of YouTubers, big and small, and then I didn't know he was on the Oceania server until one day I was just doing like some pub matches on Shipment. It might have even been the old Shipment, I really can't remember. And I saw this madman running around with a melee weapon, pissing everybody off, and then they'd chase him back. And then I looked at his name, and it's like, what are the chances that the guy that I've been interacting with like someone else would have that name. It's just so unique. So I reached out afterwards through Trovo actually and said, dude, are you? I think the clan you were joined was something to do with Anzacs anyway. It's like, are you in the Oceania server? And he was, and we added each other after that, and we used to hang out playing COD Mobile.
You found me when I was part of that clan. So.
Yeah.
It's a while ago.
So just back to the name. So Dusk is actually your name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I've had a reggae band approach me and said I stole their name.
It isn't it?
I've had it for 35 years.
Yeah, so the correct spelling, I'm guessing, is Dusque, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And so that's your birth name, right?
Yep.
Yep. So there's that, people. You think it's an interesting gamer tag, and it's like the Dusk, the evening setting is actually his name. So tell us the story of your name.
My name was. My mother wanted to call me Harley after some friend that died on a fucking Harley or something like that.
Oh wow! Okay, that got dark.
Dad said, "Go fuck yourself. You're not naming my boy that."
Because Harley's a lovely name. We consider that for one of our sons, one of our children as well.
Wasn't so much the name as the context behind the name. Nah, I'm not calling my boy that. So he chose Dusk, and it's meant to mean moonlight, light of the evening.
Yep.
My mum spelt it, if I remember.
Were you born around that time, like in the Dusk period?
I don't think so. I know the old man got his first speeding ticket trying to get the old lady to the hospital. Cop escorted him too. Called him over, said, "Oh, boy, the missus was about to drop." Escorted him to the hospital and then gave him a ticket.
What? Oh my god, that is both so thoughtful and cruel in the same bit. But what I take from that is you've been full sending it from before you were even born, basically, on the way to the hospital.
Pretty much. The old lady only got there with 10 minutes to spare.
And how many siblings in your family?
I have one actual sibling, different mother. I have a whole bunch of sort of claimed family acquired over the years.
Like family as friends, or like the whānau, cuzzy bros?
Bit of both.
Bit of both. For those not from New Zealand, whānau is it's te reo Māori for family, and cuzzy bros is the concept of your extended whānau, your extended family, and that the close knitness of them. Sometimes they are like siblings, essentially, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. Thick calves. Okay, Fierson says he's Māori M's. Okay, so let's start there, because often when people do discussions, they do a pepeha, talk about their whakapapa. So these are expressions of explaining where you fit in the context of whatever you're discussing in the universe. Do you want to talk about that Dusk?
That's the one. Something I don't prepare for.
Your mic's just cutting off a little bit there. It sounds like you said it's not something you think about.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that in a long time. That's something I'd have to actually sort of think about and prepare for.
Yeah. And I'm guessing you didn't grow up speaking Māori, or in the you did.
I did, and then like most Māori kids, once you start mainstream school, that all sort of dies.
Well, back in the old days, it was actually beaten out of kids, but
it was a little more. It wasn't quite that bad. I went to a country art school. It was all Māori kids, so I sort of split the whitey where I went to school.
Yes, so there is your answer. He is of the indigenous race of New Zealand, Aotearoa. Have you got any mix of blood? Most have got some Scottish or something in them.
A bit of Spanish, Irish,
oh wow,
apparently Mongolian.
Yep. Those Mongols got around.
Yeah, well, only fucking had a jam on at least. Fucking planet.
How far back does the Spanish go?
I think it's at least 10 generations.
Oh wow, damn! You guys
maybe
actually,
30?
yeah. Like it's interesting that you've most families can't track their generations back that far. It just gets too lost and muddied and requires a lot of effort. My mum has put in a lot of effort for both sides of my family, but it's like it's interesting, isn't it? Like, hey, you might have some Mongolian there somewhere, but what does it mean past like 3 or 4 generations? Really, it's just part of the story, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I haven't looked at my family tree in years. But well, Jose Manuel is one of the sort of founders of the East Coast, really. Everybody's descended from that man.
Oh wow.
Pretty much anybody that's born north of Gisborne is a descendant of Jose Manuel.
Wow. The first of my father's side to settle in New Zealand, at Gisborne is where he settled, and then they've made their way north from there. Raxme, probably Australian. Well, he is actually living in Australia, but he's from New Zealand. I think you were living in Wellington before you moved to Australia, Dusk?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew he was in Australia when we first met, but as we got to know each other, I've obviously learned a lot more about him. And I just want to jump back to the moderating. So tell us some of the people that you have moderated for or still moderate for, big and small, just so that people can get an idea of who.
Shit. Yeah. I suppose the most noteworthy one would be D Hitman. Everybody knows who he is.
D Hitman, yep. I think everybody knows of D Hitman. He's still, I don't know if he's daily live streaming, but he's still regularly streaming.
He used to, but yeah, he's sort of gone on to do things side as well. I rarely go to his streams at all, and I feel bad about it. Life happens.
You were, I think, still moderating for Knives iOS, because you were into the melee scene and then the shotgun scene.
Nah, he only just started. He only just started streaming about a month or two ago.
Yeah, that's actually that. You're quite right. I tried personally to help him out, getting set up. I've lost track of time, but it was more than a year ago. It might be 2 years ago, and I sent him all these detailed instructions on Twitter. And I think it was just a bit too much for him, because he might not also have had a good enough computer and stuff. Like there's a bit of a setup to go, but he's away now. There was also the likes of Kale. I remember Kale. She's a YouTuber or a streamer from Garina from the Philippines. A lot of us know her as well, and a Korean and so on.
I think it's pretty much, I would say I probably might actually at least a quarter of the Korean streamers on Trovo at the time.
That was definitely.
I used to hang out with them all. So
that was definitely my impression. Is like I say, you were what's the term? Is it ubiquitous? That you were. Is that the right term? You were everywhere. It seemed at once. And I think the person I could compare you to on Twitter is a guy called D Dead, and he he is the COD Mobile Twitter. If you want to know what's going on, just follow him because he likes and supports everybody, which is amazing.
I do remember. He's one of my other friends, Katie Lenore. I always used to see him there.
Yeah.
She rarely streams anymore too.
Yeah. Just for chat, I am seeing your questions and stuff, and I will feed them in at the appropriate places. So just keep them coming. Yes, we're going to get into the tattoos soon, and those other questions. Actually, well, let's go into the tattoo side of things and then come back to the gaming because some might be wondering what the hell is going on here. And so the tattooing's interesting. The second game when I unlocked live streaming on my channel like a year or so ago, the second game I played was pretty much straight away was Far Cry 3, and that was a test of whether people would support me doing things other than the game that they knew me for. Because
what is it when you started live streaming?
Yep. Before that, it was. Technically, I did back in the day with PUBG stream to Twitch because that was the only way I could get my footage. It was a terrible experience, but I did. I did. That's the reason I was on Twitch. So I had some experience, but for YouTube, until I hit my 1,000 subs, I could not live stream, and so that's how I celebrated and was away. But Far Cry 3 was interesting because there was a tattoo artist character in that called Dennis. And so initially, this was before you actually started turning up in those streams. So maybe it was this like the first stream and the second stream you turned up. And Sophia, actually, those who know Sophia, who passed recently, she was around back then as well, as was Fearson. So it wasn't massively watched, but there was some good support starting. But yeah, so that was the first game where I actually took a live stream chat supporter and inserted them into the game, which is what I've been doing a lot more lately. And it was like this Dennis character. It's like, oh, this is Dusk. He's a tattoo artist. Although it got a bit weird because Dennis liked to tattoo me when I passed out with his friends feeding me drugs and alcohol and stuff. It was a bit of a kinky thing, and it got a bit weird. And then those that saw my video just recently, which is a pretty good summary of the entire Far Cry 3 game, but Dennis, there was a bit of a love triangle going on, and things went really bad. But that was my first attempt. And so because I knew Dusk was a tattoo artist, he has got that's information he shared with me. He has an Instagram, which I will put in the description at the end of this. And he was also able to give some useful advice when our friend G-Risk was looking to get tattooed recently, and because of his health condition, Dusk was able to give some timely advice to one, don't do that, and two, get professional, go see a doctor first. So let's start with how you got into tattooing, Dusk. How long have you been doing it, and why?
About 5 years now. I started learning December 2016 after my whole company got sacked from a gas project.
You were working on, it's not an oil rig, but it's a natural gas in Australia. Yeah,
Western Australia. The whole company got ejected from site because they had too many admin.
And so
I went home. I went back home and said, fuck this, I'm not going back to this shit. So. Found a what's that, sorry?
Sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted. By home, do you mean Australia or New Zealand?
Yeah, just back to Perth.
Yeah.
And then I found this website for this tattoo academy 2 years prior. I thought, fuck this, I'm going to send an email, see what it's about. And then I was actually shocked how quickly I got a reply, barely an hour. Thought about it. Well, he sent me some information, thought about it, pondered on it, said, fuck this. send him back email saying, yeah, let me know what I got to do. How much do I owe you? When do I start? And it cost me $1,000. He sent out a folder with a shitload of information. Yeah, got stuck into it.
Why tattooing though? Like, not anybody can just jump in and do that. It's a pretty serious thing. For one, it's art, right? Two, it's also you're doing something to someone's body, which is painful and permanent. It's a big deal. Why were you attracted to there's opportunity there, but why did you even think I could be a tattoo artist?
Miami, first tattoo show I ever seen. There's an artist, his name's Chris Gardner. I think he's still alive. But I watched him draw this full Japanese dragon just straight onto the spy fighter's arm. And then just started going for it. Thinking, fuck, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And that was when was that? That was in 2005. That was the sort of introductory to tattooing to me. And then had my first daughter, so that got put on the back burner. Moved to Australia, had my second daughter, even further on the back burner. And then life happened, and I said, fuck this, I don't want to do scaffolding anymore. So just dove at it head first.
You must have had some talent as an artist, though, right?
I suppose people would say that. In my opinion, I wasn't very good at it when I started. That's what the course is all about. Teaches you how to draw in regards to tattooing.
So what was your art experience before tattooing then, just so you can give us some context?
Pencil and paper.
Yep. Sketching.
Yeah.
And I'm presuming you'd been doing that since you were a kid?
Pretty much. I think would have been about my 8th birthday, maybe. 8th or 9th birthday, the old man stopped buying me toys and just bought me a shitload of pencils and paper.
Oh, wow. He must have seen something then.
Yeah, I did.
More context. What about school? We have to do art through school, and then it becomes an optional subject. Did you do art, and how did it go?
Yeah, my art teacher. When I was at high school doing school study, my art teacher hated me.
Oh,
I wouldn't listen to a fucking thing he said. Well, I don't give a fuck about this curriculum. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm doing.
So it sounds like you were the Johnny Cash of the high school art world.
Yeah, at the time I was heavily into graffiti.
Yes.
I love graffiti and actual proper graffiti, not that tagging scribble bullshit.
Yeah. Street art is what I call it.
Yeah.
I used to have a street art series on my vlog channel, which I don't do anymore, but I had people around the world sending me photos and video footage of the street art that they found in their cities or towns or country areas and stuff, and some of it was pretty amazing. So yeah, I can relate to that, as well as the art thing. Actually, I came top of the class in what we called fourth form when I was at school, but then when I went the next year, fifth form, which is when the examinations start and so on, I couldn't cope. One, with doing the academic subjects and the art, because art for me is a painful process. You have to put a lot of mental energy into it and a lot of time. Yes. And the other thing is, I wanted to draw or do printed T-shirts of panthers coming out of the water, that sort of stuff, which was not what my art teacher wanted either. Chat, I am seeing your comments. I can ask Manta Ray's one now. Hisson, can you ask Dusk? Is he my father? Manta Ray in the chat. Manta Ray, he's in Australia as well. So we do have a number of. Actually, I don't know his status, but we do have a number of people that I know. Not just in Australia, but that don't have, let's say, fathers in their lives for whatever reason. So Manta Ray's just checking.
Low low fee of $2,000 a week, I can be.
Okay, so you do your course. Let me just ask about the course because I'm interested. What did you? I'm going to presume you found it useful because not all education is. What was the most important thing you got from that course?
Everything about it was fascinating and educational for me. Right down to learning about tattoo pigments, what the compositions are for these pigments, what's in it, what they can do to you. The most notable one would be red ink back in the days. The main composition was iron oxide, which is, for people who don't understand, it's rust. So they used to, it used to be a small wonder why a lot of people got infections, massive infections from red tattoo.
Wow.
You're literally pumping rust into your body.
Holy crap. So I'm guessing that's not the case these days, that they've worked out a way to not pump rust into you?
Yeah, well, must be. Sure be. Another fascinating one was black ink. The main composition for black ink used to be bone chars. They used to shit out of it, catch soot, and make a nice, rich, dark pigment. And then, the whole vegan thing started. They found out about it.
Yep.
I don't know. I know there's a specific wood they prefer to use. I don't know which one it is. I can't remember. I have been told it wasn't that important, obviously.
Well, it is that is an interesting thing of our modern society. That is, if you get enough people passionately opposed to something, then one, it can cancel things, but also it can force companies or industries to come up with a different way, a more satisfactory way of doing things, which whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, it's a thing.
Yeah. Well, I would say it's a good thing, really. Using a more natural resource as opposed to the remains or something.
Did me and Dusk meet up? No, we didn't, but I'm hoping we will at some stage in the future. Obviously, you were back here just recently when I was down in Waihi Beach. You came back to see your babies, your girls.
I pretty much came over just as you went home.
Yep. So I'm putting money on it. Hopefully hopefully it's me getting back to the Gold Coast for a holiday next year, maybe catching you there.
Yeah,
because that'll be good for me.
The plan is to come back over again for Easter, probably Easter holidays with my girls. If I can, we'll see what.
Seeing as the conversation's gone there, I think it's good for people to know that. So your daughters are back. You're in Australia. Your kids are here in New Zealand, and this last visit was the first time you'd been able to see them in person since COVID started. I think was it since COVID started, or did you manage to get back over?
No, it was. I think I came back to Australia January 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds about right. Something like that. And then, after that, COVID hit, and I fucking haven't been home since.
So,
recently?
Yes. There'll be some people that can relate to that as well, where COVID just shut down a lot of things for a lot of people, and one of those was just being able to bond with family in general. New Zealand they basically shut down the borders, so even someone that is a New Zealander getting back was very hard, and they've only just come out of that cycle in the last month, I think it is. So that was like a 3-year essential shutdown. So you can this is one of the impacts it has on families and lives. So what did you do while you were back here?
Sweet fuck all, really. Ate. Threw my phone on the ground, and that was it. Left it there for most part.
Did you get them playing COD Mobile? Any
No.
proud parenting moments? No, actually, that's a bad example. We'll get to that in a moment because I think it's interesting to come back to the gaming stuff.
They're
But
more interested in Roblox. That's good.
yeah, yeah. How old are your daughters?
My big girl's 12. She turns 13 in January.
Yep.
And my younger girl's 10.
Wow, that's actually quite a big age gap, isn't it?
Yeah, just over 2.5 years.
Yeah.
It's not too bad though. They're close enough that they still interact all the time. They're not so far apart that they're sort of estranged, kind of thing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so I got two of my kids playing COD Mobile during the little break I had, which was awesome. One of them is obviously Ranger is more serious about it, but it was a proud parenting moment. Like they're actually now interested in a game that I'm interested in. We all started with Minecraft actually, and then did the Roblox in the Fortnite. But then there was this period where they didn't really want to play games with me anymore, and so I wasn't going to force that. They got friends and stuff, but it's just sort of come back around recently, which is nice. So we had Liv playing The Forest with me and Durian. There's Ranger there in the chat. Hello, boy. Mantre here. He's in the Gold Coast. It's the Broad Beach area. Worst experience seems. Do you mean in tattooing? Okay, let's stay with the tattoo side of things. So you did your course. How long did it take you to get your first job, your first paid job? No, hang on. Because your first tattooing experience might not have been paid. What was your first experience tattooing someone? What was that? And who?
My first ever tattoo was that one.
You did yourself? Yeah. Your first tattoo. Oh, right.
That was the first one I did. I wasn't going to tattoo anybody until I did myself first. I wanted to know what my hands were doing.
Yeah.
What it felt like to be under a needle that my hands controlling. So I tattooed myself first. All right, yeah, fuck, this is all right.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome, actually. Because it must be hard to tattoo yourself. Yeah, because it's your first one. It's on your body. You don't want to screw it up. But also there is a pain. You're experiencing pain while you're doing it. So yeah, I guess slowly as you go.
Well, you do experience pain. I think I've brought it up before. Anybody with long hair would understand. If you're brushing your own hair and it's knotty as fuck, you don't give a shit. Just push through and carry on. But if somebody else does that, you want to punch them out. So it's the same thing.
Because you're doing it to yourself.
It's self-inflicted pain, so it doesn't register the system.
And so tattoos are an important thing. Generally they are. If it's a conscious decision, sometimes there's a lot of thinking going into that. I want a tattoo to start with because it's a permanent, relatively permanent thing. Two, what the hell do you get? So I'm just curious why you chose that.
Yeah.
My first tattoo. Your first one. Yep.
I've always been a Metal Militia fan. Funny thing was, I was still working out on the gas project, and I drew that thing up in the smoker hut at lunchtime.
Wow.
Went back to my room after a 12-hour shift. Yeah, today's day. Slapped it on my leg. Took me 2.5 hours. And I stopped about 12 times because I couldn't stretch properly and find the right position to be in.
But you were able to finish it in one sitting, though?
Yeah.
And what did you learn from doing from that experience, your first experience, which was also yourself?
That I am extremely inflexible.
and how important is that in tattooing, though, to be flexible?
Not so bad if you're tattooing someone else.
Yeah.
You're tattooing yourself. Yeah. She can be a fairly decisive thing.
Okay, so you got your first tattoo, and then what? Did you do more tattoos on yourself, or did you
Well,
start to get...
I went to work the next night. I was on night shift, and I lifted up my leg, and there was about 15 of the bros all seen it. Fuck, did you do that? It's not a shirt. I pretty much had a what do you call it? Like a roster sort of thing. No, I had people trying to line the fuck up.
Wow.
Like, oh, I just started learning. Shit.
That is so cool. Well, I
basically started taking appointments on my RDOs. Take appointments, right? I'll do this one from this time to this time. You get drunk, you can fuck off. I'm not doing anything. And yeah, they were actually, the boys were actually very supportive of it. It was cool. One of the boys, I forget who it was. He couldn't help himself. He ended up going into the local town and getting pissed. And he rang me up to apologise. Said, "Oh, look, I've been drinking." And as he's apologising to me, one of the other boys, Liam, heard him and said, "Oh, fuck, I'll take your spot, bro."
That is awesome. And so this is when you were in Perth still.
Yeah. This was still out of the construction site.
So for those that don't know Australia, Perth is on the never ever smash Windows western side of Australia. Australia's a pretty big island, a continent you might say even, and he now lives on the other side of the island, up to the north ish. So why that's a pretty big move. Why the move?
Well, the guy who runs the academy, he's like a father to me now. I don't think he'd ever really seen anybody that dove into a head first like that. Apparently, I used to piss him off because I'd ask him thousands of questions every day, and it wasn't questions he was used to hearing. You know, he's used to reading brain dead fucking. Oh, the machine won't work. Can we turn it on? No. Well, that tends to be a good place to start, kind of shit. I was asking more things. I wanted to know more about pigments and what's in the compositions. How do I find out what each company has? Really, sort of shit. So he found that quite fascinating, and then he helped me get a job at the shop where I'm at now because they were students of it as well.
And so the academy was a correspondence course, right?
Yeah.
And so, is he's based in the Gold Coast as well?
At the time, he was based in Victoria. We all moved up to Queensland. He's staying sort of southeast of Brisbane, but he's had enough of Queensland, so he's going back to Victoria again.
What's not to like about Queensland?
You'd know if you were here. You're here full time, you'd know.
Right. Yeah. Well, true. Good point. Actually, I do want to, in the not too distant future, spend a bit of time each year in the Gold Coast, like my in-laws do, but they don't spend 100% of the time, so there's a reason there as well. Let me just address chat. Okay. Well, this is actually a good one. Ems is asking right now: does Dusk have his own shop?
Not yet. I intend to at some point. Just not yet.
Yep. So yeah, you're working for someone else essentially.
Yeah.
You do a lot of the specials designs and so on. They have promotional specials, don't they?
Yeah.
Seasonal stuff.
Promotional themes for each month. Obviously, end of October was a Halloween one, and next month is a bands, call it rappers and rockers and shit like that.
I think I think some of that stuff is on your Instagram. So, like I say, I'll share that. I'll share that after this is over.
Social media in general annoys the hell out of me, so I'm not very active on it. I don't post a lot of stuff too often. I'll post it on my stories, so 24 hours gone.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So get it while it's hot, basically.
Yeah. You didn't see it too bad.
Rex May, my hissing plays guitar, bass, drum, piano. Man, do you get any sleep then? Okay, I want to come back to COD
Based on the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, actually, before I come back to COD Mobile, I want to the artwork, the tattoo that you're doing right now. So, first question before we get into that is, how many tattoos do you have?
I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5, and how many of them have been done by someone other than yourself?
Part of one.
Right. Yep. So
Part of one.
Yep. Most of them are by yourself. And tell us about this one you're doing right now.
This is my anime artels that are heroes, or anime heroes that are artels. This is, if anybody actually watched it, this is Captain Levi, Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Black Pro Samurai, and then there's a whole mess of them going up my league at a date to be confirmed.
Is anime something you grew up with, or
No,
or something you've gone into?
When did I start getting into it? Probably around 2007. I like the art style. I like the way the animations were.
Yeah.
I suppose you'd say earlier, everybody used to watch Dragon Ball Z. That's where it all started. I suppose it's a lot earlier than that, when I was maybe 13, 14.
For me, it was, I don't know that this was considered anime, but Samurai Jack was this amazingly weird art action piece that was on when I was, actually, I can't even remember how old I was when that was on. And the other one was Aeon Flux as well, like those two sorts of things that were just different. Yeah.
American. Yeah, Flux was cool. I used to watch that shit when Channel 4 was a thing.
Another good question from Ems. Have you had any bad clients?
Oh, every one of them.
every one of them. Why is everyone? When someone says every one of them, it normally means something about themselves and not other people. It's like my brother who calls everyone a C word. Oh, that person, and then you see them being friendly with them, and I'm like, it's not them, man. It's you. So what? What is it about clients then?
You just get some that are. A lot of the ones that annoy me the most are people that have found things on Pinterest and they think it's real or they think it's good just because they found it on fucking Pinterest. And
they want that.
I'm trying my best not to say, go fuck yourself, get out of my face. Shut up, obviously, I don't get that.
It really does sound like you're an artist, Dusk.
I don't like... It's basically plagiarism. I don't like fucking straight copying somebody else's work.
Yeah.
It's clearly on skin, It's not concept design. It's somebody's fucking arm or their leg or the back of their neck or their throat or something. They want the exact same thing. Or some numbnut celebrity has got some shitter of a tattoo and everybody wants it because that person's got it. Yeah, fuck with them, this celebrity.
So how do you deal with that?
I say we're booked out till sometime next year.
What a great response. That's quite a polite fuck off.
Politest way I can think of. Saying fuck you.
Do you have people that you can put them onto? Because there will be tattoo.
Sometimes, yeah. It depends on what it is. Sometimes people will rock up and we just don't cover the style. But there is other artists that somebody is friends with and knows that that covers that kind of thing. So we try and send them in that person's direction. Depends on what their scheduling's like. They could be booked out for months. A lot of artists want to fill up their calendar 3 months at a time, but they don't get overrun.
Yep. Have you done any portrait tats?
No, I'm not comfortable doing those yet.
Why?
Very complex. All it takes is one minor shade wrong and you fuck the whole thing.
Yes, it's very easy. It's actually, no, it's not easy. It's hard So I have a design-ish background as well as the other things I've done, but I'm in doing like a marketing operations type role now. But before that, I was like an in-house graphic designer, and so when you're doing people like digitally or whatever, or however you're doing it, there is a bit where it doesn't look like someone until you hit a certain key part, whether it be the nose or the eyes. There's something about that person.
Right. Yes. Feature.
And you have to keep going until you hit that, because otherwise it could just be anything or anyone, you know. But if you manage to hit that feature, that just brings it to life, and you go, that's who that is. It works. Yeah. It can still be abstract.
That feature, if you suck it, that's what you're done.
Rex, imagine SXC tattoo. Well, Rex, we haven't heard from Fox in a while, but Fox said when Jokester hits 1 million subs on YouTube that he's going to get the SXC tattoo. The logo. You told your mum you were going to get one. A throat tattoo? Oof, dispose.
Good luck with that. I can't. I haven't got one. I've tattooed one person's throat. I'll never do it again.
Oh, what happened with that?
Disgusting feeling. Because he had a turkey neck. He had a full-on fucking Adam's apple, and that was gross trying to run around that thing.
Yeah. I mean, what I like, what I'm hearing is you've definitely approached this as an artist. You've got some principles essentially, born out of experience, though. Imagine Simon goes for Riley tattoo. Yeah. Okay, I am now going to jump back to the COD Mobile side of things, because that's where you and me met. You were playing a lot of COD Mobile back then. You like I mentioned the feature I don't even know if knives was a thing. Maybe what? No, he probably was. We're just getting started.
By the time I found you, he was well established.
Right. So yeah, it was the melee weapon, and in BR, because we also played a lot of BR, it was the shotgun and the axe as well. So yeah, we used to hang out, I think, after work in game pretty much every day, I think, for quite some time. And you had multiple accounts as well. That was the other thing, is you had probably 4 or 5 or 6 accounts, because you used to just help people.
I rarely used it for.
Yes, you would help people rank up, sort of thing. And then it wasn't actually an instant thing. Just over time, your passion for Call of Duty Mobile, well, let's just say the anger towards it intensified. So tell Chet about your feelings there, about what as you see it went wrong, and essentially the last day that you were on, you changed your name to CODM Sucks, I Quit, and you did.
Yeah, oh shit. It slowly but surely went downhill. You could see it coming. I could see it coming. As soon as they brought out Gunsmith, this game's going to get big. They're not going to fix the service. They won't give a shit. People will still buy their crappy skins. Sure enough.
Yes.
And then after a while, the beast thing started getting out of hand, and then I'd find myself logging into only Japanese servers for 2 months at a time. Regardless of time of day or where the fuck in the country I was, I'd load into Japan.
Yes.
On all 3 accounts too. It wasn't just the one isolated incident to one account. All 3 of them were good.
That's right. You used to reboot the app. You click away.
Yeah. Every 4 games, I'd restart the whole app just to reset the desync. And you could see it slowly progressing too. Start off, first game would be okay, and then it'd start missing knife hits here and there, and then people would just be teleporting around me, and next thing you know, I'm swinging at somebody that actually paces back the other way, and they're just standing there shooting me.
Yes, it was. I felt bad for you. Like, chat. So some of those experiences were live streamed. I think. Were they? Were they live
No,
streamed?
those ones were.
No, they were recorded. Not they were probably in content
I don't even know
that
if
came
they
out
were
at the time.
But that was about the time when you were doing your camo grinds, and I'd stand there with concussion and just throw them down the lane.
Wow, yeah, back when I used to do camo grinds before I completely gave up.
Yeah.
Has Dusk smashed his device when he played CODM back then? Have you done any damage to any of your device because of frustration of a game? He did, huh?
Not the device, more my kidneys and bladder.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, let me make a note to come back to that. Hang on. In BR, what stood out for me was when they introduced the kinetic, the armoring system for Battle Royale, because you used to get great pleasure out of, I'm pretty sure it was a battle axe, because me and Fox used to hang out with you and try and mimic what you were doing.
Everyone did. It was hilarious.
Yes, and then once the armoring system came in, and it takes multiple hits to kill someone with a melee now, it was pointless. You really didn't want to play after that.
That was heartbreaking. That was supposed to be my saving grace, and when they did that shit, I'm done with this game.
So for those that want to know what that experience was like, having Dusk on the team when he was going through that, anybody that hung out with us and watched the Ghost Recon streams, which we did many streams, and many of them were tainted by poor server optimization. And to his credit, Dusk probably only I don't know if you want to call it rage quit, but you did call it early one night. Actually, it was probably more than one night.
It was there was once I just said, fuck this, I don't want to play anymore. But that was at the end of the game. You were just finishing up the last mission.
I also wonder if that was the game where the night where I medic droned you back to life a number of times when you didn't want to.
Yep, I almost told you to get fucked and play this game yourself too.
No, I sensed the disturbance in the force and realised I need to back off now. Literally with the drone. Content though.
Yeah. No, because that was the night after all that bullshit. Mantero finished his video for what's her name? Sophia? Yeah.
Mantero
finished that video for Sophia, posted it.
Oh yes, yep. I'm with you now. Yep. Okay. So that's going back because she passed. Oh gosh, time. This is the thing with gaming time, is that because when you're, especially like COD Mobile, if you're on there every day hanging out with the same people for a couple of hours a day, it all of a sudden feels like 10 years when it might only be a month. Gaming ages, yeah. It's why we feel so ancient, I think. But yeah, so those that aren't, if it's not obvious, if you're just tuning in now, Dusk is a dad gamer as well, and that's where the concept of Potato Dad Gaming came from, which was it started before the co-op stuff. Is actually relatively recent. Like you've been a supporter of the non-COD Mobile stuff since it has to be. Which is going back, I need to look up when that was, whether it was a year or two ago.
It was pretty much, it was probably 10, 15 minutes before the start of that video, that Far Cry 3 video you released.
Yep.
So I remember the first thing I was, fuck, that dude looks like a cookie monster.
That's right, yeah.
Turned out he was.
Hey, there's G-Risk. Hey, Hissing and Dusk, what's your best tattoo? Okay, there's G-Risk's, there's Ty's question. What's your best tattoo?
Still working on it. It's going to be a full or half-body God of War thing. And it won't be finished until after the next, what is it, Ragnarok? After that releases and he plays that, so you can see what characters are in that one.
So you've got a client and a commission. You've done some of the design then, ready to go?
Yeah. We've been working on it for about 3 months.
Damn.
There's still a lot I can do, but it won't be finished until Yeah, until after he plays the new game, so you can see what characters you might want to add from that.
Yeah. We look forward to seeing that. Get a dragon on your back.
I remember I'll post the pictures on Discord later.
Oh, Ems has got a question. Is Dusk single?
Maybe.
Wait, what was that response?
Said maybe.
Maybe. There you go, Ems. There's your response. You want some Immortal Technique lyrics tattooed on you? Do you do lyrics, song lyrics, or whatever? Poetry.
I hate doing script.
Is it because of the handwriting? Because I couldn't do it.
I hate fucking writing in general, let alone trying to test it.
Just showing chat, this is an example of my handwriting from the forest, denoting our markers and what they meant. Can you read it? Yeah. How long have you been gaming?
October after God M release.
Oh, so that was your first...
That was pretty much my real first go at gaming. I didn't have time for it.
Why COD Mobile?
Because I didn't have a console or a PC. I'll be honest, I looked at it for about a month or so before I decided to download it. I wasn't going to.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck do I want that game for? And then, became a game for a while.
Your initial impression, though, like we know how it ended, but the initial impression must have been pretty good then of COD Mobile. When that's your first gaming experience, it's a mobile game for starters. It's on your phone.
Well, it was during COVID, so it was something to kill the time.
Yep.
That's when it sort of took off. But, it was just something to kill time at the time.
Yeah, well, that's kind of...
Then I started sort of finding out how shit I was at shooting. And that's when I found nice iOS.
Yes.
Crazy bastard running around with a knife. But fuck, that looks fun. It's more fun than trying to aim this fucking gun.
well, you had that in common with Knives. Eli is his name. When he needed to shoot down UAVs and he'd pull out, he had a primary because you had to. That's back in the OG days that you had use speed boost on it. And you went real fast after respawn. But because the sensitivity was max, him trying to just shoot a plane in the sky, he couldn't even do it. It was like, oh my God.
Man, excellent. I was in the same boat.
Cobra, welcome. This is Dusk doing his own leg. So it's actually amazing. It's probably the Discord sound attenuation, but you can't actually hear the machine going. That noise that you hear there, that's what it is. Would you have Dusk collab with you and your song Sissing? That'd be cool. Well, okay, so that's a good segue into something else I wanted to talk about.
I've mentioned it before.
Yeah, so this is another thing that a lot of you don't know about Dusk is he's actually really, really good on the electric guitar. He sent me bits here and there, and obviously Sophia's song, so he's good at what do you call that? Digital music, what do you call it? Platform mixing. I don't know what you call it, mixing.
Well, I made the whole thing, so you sort of come under the title producing.
And you did it quickly, like Samantha Ray, I think that there was a discussion going on. Maybe I was doing Sophia's stream that night, and he went away and did his thing. So that was, and then you had the song, I think the next day, I think it was.
About 3 hours to make it.
It's an amazing song. So how long have you been doing music? What instruments do you play, and what have you done with it?
I haven't played just about anything except woodwind. I'm not a fan of woodwind instruments. I haven't really done fuck all with it. It's just not a pastime. So to keep me from losing my rag, whatever is annoying me.
Yep. So you grew up with music?
Yeah, both my family are musical people.
What was your first instrument that you can remember?
Two pots.
Two pots. So actually, what was...
Two pots and some chopsticks.
So was drums? Did they get you into drums?
Well, apparently my grandmother wanted to buy me a drum kit until she worked out how much they cost. And she got me these ratchet bongos. I still wanted the fucking two pots.
See, these days it's not the price, because you can get a cheap, second-hand drum kit, or third hand or fourth hand. Because I mean, my son Ranger in the chat he did drums for a year. They were second hand at least by the time they got to him, and then when he stopped playing them, they went on to someone else. Just passed on. But it's not the it's not necessarily the cost these days, but it is the noise. Holy crap, drums are noisy. If you got them in your house.
Yeah, indeed.
Did you do music in school?
I tried. I just didn't want to know about it. I just wanted to play my guitar.
So, what, you resisted the theoretical?
Yeah, I have a very, very rudimentary understanding of theory.
So yourself.
Say that I have an understanding of musical theory as a gross overstatement.
I can relate to that as well. Like I've tried to learn some things, but what I found most useful on a guitar was the concept of power chords, which is just three notes, and you can compose with power chords and not have to think, is the song in a major or a minor composition, and then I can work with someone like my bandmates, especially the keyboard player he's self-taught as well, but he or the bass player who has more of a family background, but I don't need to worry about that shit when I'm composing. Those guys can fill the gaps and work out, is it a minor or a major, that sort of stuff. It doesn't matter. It's just a basic template essentially.
Yeah.
You see a sort of character X, mate. Yes. He did explain it about 10 minutes back.
What's that? What'd you say?
Rex Mercure was he turned his phone and he can I think he can see the character you're working on. So I think he missed the bit where we were talking about what that was about.
Pro Samurai.
APA. All I see is a spicy hissing sitting there. No, so this is me, and this I can't even point to it. That leg is Dusk's leg. So he is tattooing himself. I like the idea of a musical collaboration in future. My issue at the moment is me and my band have been working on an album since before COVID, and you guys know the outro song. That's one of them. That's not even technically maybe finished yet. It pretty much is, but we've got a bunch of songs to finish off and record, and we're just stuck in this weird place of motivation and procrastination. Yes, he is doing a leg reveal. Okay. I wonder if he can rotate the app. Is it from his phone? It's on Discord. So I think it's because how he's got it set up there on probably a stand, so that you can see it. So I don't. Let me just see if I can rotate it. I don't think I can. I don't think that's an option. Yeah, that just rotates your. What they mean is the aspect is in portrait mode, to change it to landscape for Discord.
Right, I'm going to get up. My ass is going numb, so I'm going to get up and a quick walk around and try and check a little bit. Yes.
Could you see yourself doing anything else other than tattoo related profession?
After tattoo, I'll probably take over the old man's academy after that.
Yeah,
That's retire the machine.
So what about?
Let them relax.
So would that include teaching then?
Yeah. Well, I've already mentored 5 or 6 people that were ready for machines that came out of the academy.
Nice.
Ow.
Hi, Icy Smooth. This is I have a background a long time ago in journalism, so we almost had it. Wait, no, it's there we go. That's it, right there. That's it right there. There we go, Rex me. So every now and then I do a what I call a gaming war story, where I talk to people in the community and we just find out a bit more about them. The biggest interview I've done is probably with Jokester, and then we turned that into a 6-part series. I was meant to, I think I can say it now because it hasn't happened. I was meant to interview another creator called Ejected, who was up and coming. That dude had massive momentum and was, other than Jokester and maybe Zeke from Garena, was one of the big search and destroy content creators. So him and me, we had teed up a couple of times, and it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet, but that's the sort of stuff. I know Bobby Plays is now doing podcasts and stuff, so it's not like it's unique. But from my perspective, I started this like 2 years ago. Just this realization that I had a background and I could use those skills to good use. And really, it's about me finding out more about people in the community. Oh, thank you for the donut, Icy. Thank you for the donut. Donut's the donation. Although donut sounds good. Appreciate it.
I like that. I'm gonna use it more often.
I had a I guess it was technically an Indian donut today because it's Diwali. And so we had our cafeteria had a buffet style thing, which is where they just have a whole bunch of curries on a plate essentially. So that, which didn't go down too well with the ride home. I had a bit of heartburn. And then another co-worker, she brought in, I guess they were more like spicy sweets. I don't know the names of them and stuff. But yeah, one of them was like, this is our version of a donut. And it tasted a little bit like it. Yes, thank you for the donut.
I like it. Everybody who's got something to do with donuts, I think I'm changing this fucking command.
So that's actually another thing worth pointing out. So we've talked about Dusk as a moderator. Dusk is a moderator here on this channel, and he has had as much fun with the Nightbot commands as I have. I appreciate them and value them.
See my leg all right?
He asked about, hang on, he's asking about your third leg hissing. What? Oh, when are we going to get a leg? Oh, come on. It's funny you should say that, but no, it wasn't Durian, but it was a very Durianish thing to say. Dust, do you want to give us a quick face reveal?
Nope.
There you go. I know what he looks like. We had a face. No,
you want to see my face? It's not hard to find.
Okay, there's your clue, guys. So his face is out there, and I don't think he's got anything to hide.
Okay, I'll just look at my face on the camera.
Yeah, so interesting that, like, obviously we're of an older generation, but there was still, like, growing up, there were what we knew as, we called them spacey games, which were arcade games that were in like a corner shop, a dairy. I don't know what you call them in your part of the worlds. I think you said you're out in the country, so you probably didn't have that experience unless you went to one of the towns or the cities.
It depended on what time. It was up until I think it was 5 o'clock. They had, you ever see those old air ones that they used to have inside the tables at the pub?
Yes, yeah.
They had those. They had those in my hometown. So you could go there up until I think it was 3 o'clock.
Yep. Yeah, like this is the thing. Like, so these days you get new things come out all the time, but for us growing up, some of those games would have been around for some time. Anywhere like Space Invaders, that wasn't new growing up. But there was Double Dragon. I remember that one. It was a kung fu sort of fighting one. That was pretty epic. I don't know that I could play those ones now. Donkey Kong, something like that. Oh, wait, hang on, was that on a? That might have been on a handheld one.
No,
Yeah.
Donkey Kong was Nintendo.
Like we said, War Stories, guys. Now you have so mobile gaming was your first experience. I can relate that to my friend Foxfroth in Norway. How I got into mobile gaming, it was not Code Mobile, it was PUBG, because Foxfroth, well, that's what he's known as now. He didn't have a PC or a console. I was playing PUBG on PC with a mutual friend of ours known as Brute Squad, and he could see the fun that we were having. And me and Foxfroth were at that stage trying to do like what you call a vodcast, like a podcast with a video. And he is someone that's quite like an early adopter of things. He hears about something that might be fun to do and gets us into it. That's how I got into PUBG. We were using it to do a vodcast. It was us playing a game and having a chat, basically, and then putting it out there. That's how it got started. But had he not had, if the mobile hadn't been the only option for him, then we would have done it elsewhere. So I'm always thankful for that, because I don't know that I would have bothered playing mobile gaming. And now I just love the digits on glass sort of thing. So you do have a console now.
Oh.
What is your all-time favorite game?
All-time favorite?
Say that again?
I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't really know what my all-time favorite would be.
Far Cry 6 was pretty good.
That was fucking fun.
Icy Smooth.
I learned a lot about that, actually, that game. After the reason I was experiencing a lot of lag, it wasn't really to do with my device. It was probably to do with the computer that I was connecting to remotely. More than likely, it was an Intel thing, and apparently they used to have. If it was a 12th gen, they had a lot of scheduling issues with the E-cores, which used to sort of fuck up your frame rates and all that sort of shit. So, yeah, I used to think it was my device, but it can't say it doesn't.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
You actually have a background in IT.
Very minor one that lasted, I think it was 8 months or something. I said, fuck this. I don't want to work in an office for the rest of my life.
I'm guessing you were a help desk technician, something like that?
Computer tech, I used to do computers. For computers, get the operating system running, test all the hardware, make sure it wasn't sort of thing.
Well,
yeah, at the time, I didn't really have I don't think I had long. But the main sort of the normal appearance was to have a shirt, tie, and a ponytail. I heard there's no fuck this, I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this job anymore. I became a welder instead.
But it's interesting, though, that you're clearly still kept up. You've kept your knowledge of the industry up to date.
Not really. I only started learning about it about the time you were playing. Was it Blood Dragon?
Right. Yep.
It was about then when I started learning about computers again. Started learning a lot,
That was the stream after Far Cry 3, I think.
No, Far Cry 4. Was it? Okay. Shit.
No, it was
Blood Dragon before or after 4?
It was the same engine as it was the, what do you call it? They skinned it off of 3. See,
okay.
see Icy Smooth. Yeah, okay. Well, so it's been useful to me because it was when I was actually trying to stream Modern Warfare, the 2019 one, where I had so many issues. Actually, I need to go back at some stage and redo that experience. And so I knew I was at that stage. That's how you know as a content creator that you need an upgrade, essentially. So you were very helpful there with giving me a guide to the device I've now got.
Yeah, so I literally started learning all of that maybe early a month before it all started happening. Started taking it all back in again.
Far Cry 6 was our first game together. Yes, it was. And we'd talked about it for a long time, trying to find what game we could play together. I essentially gave Dusk just a screenshot of all of my Steam games that I had. And that one had come out the most recently, I think, but long enough that there was a discount, I think, for it. And that is probably one of my more favorite ones to play recently. Like I did enjoy Ghost Recon. I think there were bits because Far Cry's got these elements as well. So maybe there's a learning there. I'm torn between when you need to grind something to level up a skill or whatever. I don't know that that's the most entertaining content for you guys when you're watching. That said, in the earlier Far Cry's, Dusk forbade me from playing any of that off stream because some of the best adventures happened when you weren't expecting it, when you were just it's all like a meditative experience.
Like a fucking rhino. Oh, that was the best.
What's the command for the PC device? Is it just PC device? I can't remember.
PC. Just PC.
Just PC. There we go. That's what I've got. Now, Dusk was meant to be a part of the latest Forest experience. Hopefully this isn't too soon. So Dusk we were all set up to start the stream. Dusk is the reason that Durian had the game. He bought the game for Durian as well. And on the night that we were due to start it, even though he'd been in recently to check everything was good, GeForce NVIDIA had removed a bunch of games from the mobile app that they have that enables you to play a PC game on your mobile device. Due to that, when I went and looked at it, it said to do with a mouse pointer issue, that there's certain elements that you couldn't play on a console that didn't really make sense, and so he couldn't play it. There was no workaround, no option. So that kind of sucked. So we'll be we won't announce the next game we're going to do until we've confirmed that we're in it, because
it does work. I've checked.
You want okay? Well,
I just got to buy it.
Right, it should be on. Yeah, this is the thing. Make sure you don't pay full price. Ghost Recon, Dusk bought it because he was already keen to play that one. We'd had our eyes on that one for a while. I think that game would have been better with a couple more people, as in it would have been a bit easier for us, and we could have been more stealthy. We were trying to full send it like we did in Far Cry 6. That's what I loved about Far Cry 6, is it was a more... it was just run up the middle, whereas the Tom Clancy stuff, I realized, especially with that stupid game I was playing last night and didn't even finish, Tom Clancy, it really is a strategic... They really dial up the strategic side of things and the stealth, and they make it hard, and at least they're true to form, and it's mostly fun, but honestly I prefer the Far Cry stuff better.
Yeah.
Man Ray, you're going to kill yourself so I can pick it up off your gaming corpse, I'm guessing?
It was easy to level up Far Cry. You still had to work for it, but also it wasn't such a bastard. You didn't have to fly around the map for 6 fucking hours.
Oh yeah.
Trying to level up to the next weapon of your gun.
Yes. Yeah, it's interesting.
The next upgrade.
We probably played about the same amount of hours. We didn't have server issues with Far Cry 6, did we? I don't recall there being.
No, it was just the odd lag issue.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, it was my device, but it turns out it was more than likely the device I was remotely connecting to. Probably having speaker image tools. because Windows 10 didn't play nicely with touch-gen Intel CPU. It didn't know how to deal with preset cores, so it started creating all kinds of fucking dramas until they released Windows 11.
My setup dispose, I think it was less than 2,000, but I got a deal on it by being
18, just over 1,800, which was unbelievable. So what was it? 2,800 they wanted?
Yeah.
They discounted you twice? That was cool, man.
Yeah, I got a double discount by being cheeky, and I mean, I've been a long time Dell customer because that's what our company uses, and so we always got a staff discount, which is not heaps, but it was something. So all of my devices have been Dell because of that fact, and so I don't know whether that played into it at all, but that's where I was starting from, and I went back and asked for a bit more off and got it. This is going to turn into the ask hissing anything. What did you buy first for your setup? The very first video on my channel can give you an idea of how bad it was. It was an old Dell, and I didn't have so I wasn't mobile gaming back then. This is like 2016 or I don't know. Hang on, this gaming channel is like 4 years old probably. I don't know. I think I started vlogging in 2016. So I had whatever the laptop I had at the time was, and I wasn't. Did I stream to Twitch? It was Far Cry 3. It's pretty sure it's a Far Cry 3 video, or maybe 4. I can't remember. And you can see it's just so bad. The computer is struggling to stream it. So you got to learn about bit rates and all those sorts of things, but that's a secondary thing. And I didn't have a headset or a microphone, so I was just using the built-in microphone of the laptop at the time, and the the webcam that was built in. But it was enough to get started, right? I think the point is just get started. And then I got into it and upgraded from there, and so I've got a Blue Yeti microphone now. I've got these studio headphones. You can add keyboard and mouse and just add as you need, sort of thing. The mobile gaming was the complicating factor, because how the hell do you get your footage off of mobile onto your PC so you can stream it? And fortunately, these days there are solutions. Well, let's throw that question, Ray, over to Dusk, actually, because he's the one that I would reach out to first. So any recommendations for setting up a PC setup for streaming and that? So what's your feeling, Dusk, for a first timer? And Ray, give us an idea of budget, because that can help as well, because you can go to extremes. Oh, did you hear me, Dusk?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Just waiting.
Yeah, he's not.
Whether or not he's got a budget.
Let's assume on he's in Australia, so I don't know, see if he had $1,500, maybe.
We're in Australia.
He is okay. $1,200 a fortnight. I currently make just over $1,200. So let's go for.
Look up Aftershock PC. They've got some decent. Login sort of thing. They ain't too bad. I mean, you'd be wise to change a few parts here and there. Oh yeah, Aftershock PC. That's a pretty good place to start.
Yeah, you can always do like RAM upgrades and so on.
Yeah, you can. They give you the option to upgrade stuff.
Yeah,
but they're what they have pre-built was pretty good entry level.
And Ray, I would say once you've got your eye on a sweet little something, then there's no harm in, if you see Dusk in a live stream asking, and you can send him a link to check out. He'll give you his honest opinion.
I mean, I don't know everything about computers, but I do have a fair understanding at this point. Just start learning about the new gen CPUs and shit.
Okay, something else people don't know about you. I don't even know if you want to share this, but I'm going to say it anyway. So you've got an interest in writing as well.
Yeah. I've only recently been rekindled from my daughter, actually.
Oh.
She started getting back into writing. She started getting into writing, which sort of piqued my interest again.
So you had an interest, at a school age, or?
Well, I wouldn't say. Well, it didn't really start off as an interest. It was more of a fuck you to the teacher.
I see a theme here.
Because I hated English. I hated everything about English. And then she kept me back after class one day and made me write it was a poem of some sort. And I wrote what I thought was the most vulgar thing I could think of, and it was really good. So the cow kept me back the whole lunch fucking period to write this crap out all day. And the whole time.
Wow. And
yeah.
Was it the response to it, or what was it that actually then got you interested in it, in writing?
I don't know. Just the scriptedness, I suppose. Remembering what it was like to read books.
Yep. Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's an art form in itself. Writing is. It's an expression of ideas.
Yeah. I read it. After listening, I thought I'd read what she'd been writing. That's cool. I'm going to get back into this shit too.
Ems is asking if you remember how that poem went, whether you can recite it.
Come on now, that was shit. That was 23 years ago. No shot. I don't even remember the name of the teacher.
Welcome, viewer. Who slipped in, Dispose?
I remember there was something to do with a fire. Let's get it.
You mean Rex Mercure? That's Rex Mercure, Dispose. Cobra, maybe you should go work where Ray is.
Magic.
Yes, I wrote a note down here. Okay, so well, this is the thing. It was during when I was streaming Modern Warfare 1, maybe it was, and one of those streams was a special stream to you because you were in hospital and you were bored as heck, probably going to murder some nurses. So you want to tell the viewers what that was all about?
It was Far Cry. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Far Cry that you streamed American Hospital.
Damn, I would have sworn it
was.
Yeah,
what were we doing? We were playing COD, and I just finished eating Chinese food. I thought I had food.
Yeah, and then the next message was from the hospital.
I tried to sleep it off, wake up an hour or so later, nap. I'm injured.
And so you had you had a kidney stone.
Yeah.
How is your health these days?
It's always touch and go. Something wrong, but get used to it.
I think you're eating and drinking better though, right?
Really bad.
Well, you don't want to wind up back in hospital, I'm guessing, because that as you were describing it was a painful.
I don't know. It's pretty fun. I mean, the relative surgeries and procedures weren't so fun.
Yeah.
And the stories that come of it are hilarious.
Cool. Did we tell them what we were going to play next?
Yeah.
It's going to be.
And if anybody was even remotely paying attention, they shouldn't have. In previous streams, because you brought it up in stream.
It's. I think we decided on Sniper Elite 2, right?
Well, yeah, can do.
It sounds like we didn't decide.
Yeah.
I
was saying you probably, because I'm pretty well skinned up in the holidays, so you probably run through the Sniper Elite titles as a solo game.
Gotcha. I got you.
As you go along, I might be able to jump into three or four.
Yep. And we're building up towards. Okay, well we're building up towards Dying Light 2.
Yeah. Yeah, so you probably want to play Sniper Elite 2.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, by the time you get to the end of that. Yeah, you should get about, I think you should get about 6 or 7 streams out of it.
Yeah. Like this, you can kill Hitler basically. Some of it's quite fun. Yeah, Dying Light 2 is I actually do. I have bought it. It's on the list of games that I've bought and haven't downloaded yet. So we will. Dusk will get it. Hopefully there'll be a sale for it. It'll be, and then he'll work out whether he can actually play it.
Yes, no, I can play it.
You can. Well, yeah. Hopefully nothing changes in the meantime because that kind of sucks. Okay, I'm just going to scroll up and just see if there's any questions from the. Okay, I need to turn it to live chat. Oh crap! It doesn't go back that far. Okay. What? Okay, I might have to open it on my phone. Hang on a second. On average, Dusk, I'm just curious with the tattoo side of things. How long does a tattoo take? Is it one sitting?
Depends on the tattoo, how complex it is, where it is.
Yep.
What the client tolerance is like. There's about 2,000 different factors sort of take into a time frame. What kind of sleep did they have? Are they having problems at home? Have they lost their job? All of that
Right.
comes into play. First levels are a very important thing to know about when you're tattooing someone.
Actually, when we asked about bad experiences earlier, I'm just curious whether you get some aggro customers as well.
I had a few testy ones, but my general appearance is a fair deterrent.
Now everyone is going to want to know the face reveal. Has he? Oh, that's a good. You got good questions, Ems. Has he done a tat that made him emotional?
Yes. Every parent that comes in for a memorial piece for a child they've lost.
Oh God, yeah. Is that stressful for you, or do you like the? Because that's a challenge.
It's not stressful. No parent wants to hear that shit, you know?
Yeah.
No parent wants to entertain that idea.
Yeah.
The thing that always doesn't bother me, just blows me away that every one of them that I've tattooed, they have such a happy demeanor. They see really lovely people and still smiling upon the world and all that shit. And go, nah, Bailey's one of my babies, but I'm going dark and I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start getting in there's no coming back if that happens.
So on that note, actually, do you have plans to move back to New Zealand in the future, or to have your kids?
Maybe after my girls turn 18.
Right.
Yeah, there's reasons for that. I'm happy to discuss that with you off stream. That's not something I really want to air out
Yeah, no, fair enough. Do you want to do an age reveal and say how old you are?
According to Durian's calculations, I'm 53 based on my name.
Durian's calculations.
What his train of thought, reasoning, whatever you want to justify it.
He's got a lot of thoughts, that boy.
Yeah, thoughts.
Dispose is asking, she's asking, would he ever get a traditional Japanese tattoo, the very painful one? Tell us, you must know about those.
The old man was actually taught. The old man was actually taught by a man who was a 300-year descendant of Japanese traditional tattoo. And what's that?
What does it involve?
It's if you try and do it the old school way with the stick and poke, it's just slow. It's not really overly painful. It's just slow. It seems more painful because you can actually hear each time the needles pierce your skin. It's not like a machine where the machine's revving at between 9 and 12,000 RPM. This is 5 RPM.
How would you get one? Would you get one done?
Yeah, fuck it.
Wow.
But I don't really have any desire to have that on my body. My body is pretty much all accounted for what I want. It's just affording to get it done by the right people.
Yeah, Ray, that kind of ties in with your question, which he did answer earlier. It's has Dusk had any random do a tat on him or just self-done? And he said he's done all his tattoos himself except for half of one he's had some help with.
Well, when I say one, I mean my whole right leg is one. It's a big tattoo.
Yeah. Not some...
Yeah, my boss has done two. One of the apprentices to lead artist. She's done one. But our second apprentice is going to do one too.
Thank you, Ems. I for some reason can't see the chat back when you guys were asking those questions. So Ems asking, have you had any tamokos done in any traditional...
Sorry, was it?
Tamokos. Have you done any like traditional indigenous tattoos? Either in the Māori or in Ems's case, Cook Island Māori, or even I'd extend it actually out into any other traditional, whether it be Polynesian or Aboriginal.
One of my Whangai brothers, I drew a Tamaki years ago, and one of my cousins, I drew, she's half Cook Islander, so I did half Tamaki, half Cook Island thing for her.
Yep.
That was when I was very young and naive, and after growing up a little bit, I sort of came to the realization that I don't know what the fuck I'm drawing. I don't know what all the shapes mean. I don't know what that line there means. I could be offending the fuck out of somebody. So it was at that point I decided I'm never doing that again, just because I don't want to offend anyone. I don't know what I'm doing with it.
I'm curious as to how you came to that realization, though.
Well, just one of my random reasonings. Having a lazy ponder about it, and yeah, right, this is probably a fucking stupid idea. I could be offending the hell out of someone.
Yeah, because I could imagine someone, well, actually it's easier these days with social media. You posted a photo of it and someone comments and say, hey, that's an appropriation or an inappropriate use of whatever, or because there's always an expert there, isn't there? But it is actually food for thought that, you've it's another one of those principles where it's like, yeah, I really shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, just Tamaki alone, each tribe has its own language dialect, which correlates towards their art style. Each tribe has its own art style. You do the wrong one on the wrong person, they go home, one of the elders said, they probably get back in hiding, and then you look like an idiot because you've done this to this person. They're under the assumption that you know what you're doing.
I guess if someone really wanted it done, you'd probably have a criteria to go through to make sure that it was.
I'd make them go and get it, and then I'd make them recite it to me.
Yep.
What it all means. If they stutter, if they get it wrong, I'd tell them to fuck up.
Yep.
Simple. I'm not really I'm gonna beat around the bush today. Oh, you wanna risk my name, my thumb? You can fuck it.
Just seeing another one of your comments from earlier, Ems, about how long in New Zealand. I'm not sure whether that relates to his recent visit, which was, I think, only about a week, right? But in general, how long were you in New Zealand versus Australia, maybe? Just that could give a context.
Can you elaborate? Not quite getting the question.
So how long were you in New Zealand before you left for Australia, and how long of your life have you been in Australia now?
2010. July 7th, 2010 was when I moved to Australia.
Yep.
And I've been here ever since.
Yep. Why did you go to Australia?
Get into mining.
Right. Okay.
We were poor. We were poor as fuck.
Yeah.
And I had a daughter. I didn't want her to be poor too.
And Perth was, well, I don't know what it's like now, but you got mines there.
Actually, I started off in Queensland, central Queensland.
Yep.
And from there, moved down to New South Wales. Tried to get into the coal mines down there. That was just a pain in the ass. And I moved to WA instead, got into the gas project. Then did some time in iron ore, nickel. Went to an aluminium site, looked around, said, "Fuck this, I'm home." Yeah. Finished out my time. I spent 5 years in Perth. Finished out my last year in gas projects, and then decided I don't want to do this anymore. Handed in my resignation, got on the plane, hopped in my car, and drove the hell across the country.
I think a lot can be learnt from finding out what you don't want to do. That's why I encourage, especially you can call them kids, but younger people when they're just getting started, is just to get started, just to do something, even if it's a job that you really hate, because that's your motivation to find something better. But also you've learnt that you hate something, so you want to do whatever it takes. So I'm just curious from those experiences whether you learnt anything that was quite powerful, that has helped guide you to where you are now.
I wish I had approached the Tattoo Academy in 2014 when I first joined it. It would have been a lot better off by now.
You mean financially or artistically?
Financially, artistically, career-wise, yeah.
I guess you would have
found it a long time.
You would have. Well, actually, that's interesting, because I'm guessing COVID must have had a massive impact. So we talked about it impacting relationships. Your children are back here in New Zealand, but what has the tattoo industry been like over COVID in Australia?
First order of business, all tattoo shops had to shut the doors to further notice.
Yep.
Which is wild, because hairdressers were forced to stay open.
Yeah.
We couldn't fucking believe that.
Yeah, actually, that rings a bell, because I think I remember playing. One of the reasons we played a lot of games is because you weren't working. You couldn't work. Yeah. Yeah,
pretty much. Now that I think about it.
I suppose I don't know what is it an MBTI? What is that? What does it stand for? King Cobra. How much would Dusk charge if he was doing it on someone else? Maybe let's use this tattoo you're doing right now as an example. How much would you charge to do something like this on someone else?
As far as I'd probably charge per hour. Charge $160 an hour. $160
an hour, and this would take how long to do on someone else? The actual tattoo itself?
Hard to say. As I was saying before, there's about 2,000 different factors that can
you could do
either help or hinder. If I was going full blast with no issues whatsoever, I'd probably get this from here to here done in maybe 5.5 hours.
Yeah. So that's a good on sitting basically. Do you include, though, because it's not just the act of doing the tattoo, you've got to have the design right. You don't do that on the fly. You got to have that so you
Most
can.
of the time I do.
How long does the actual concept take?
Depends on what they want. If they have a clear reference, if there's nothing you actually have to draw per se, they found something that they really like the look of. Like this, this is just my interpretation of this.
Right. Yep.
So if they come in with something like that, it's pretty straightforward. Just get the basic outline and off we go. As you can see.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that's just factored into your hourly rate. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at this shop, we don't really charge for drawing stuff. Which I don't particularly care about half the time, but I don't have time to draw anything. Find out about it last.
Have you entered any competitions? Because there's tattoo competitions, right? Or you
I refuse to enter that bullshit. That's just glorified nonsense. That most of the time, there's already a predetermined winner.
Yeah.
The rest of it's just formality. Fuck it.
That's pretty much award shows.
Revenue generating crap. Yeah, I don't want to know about it. I don't like it.
Yeah, it was in journalism in this country. Well, it was named after the sponsor, which was Qantas, the Qantas Awards. But yeah, I mean, if you're trying to make a career for yourself, it's good to have one. But it's like a gameable thing, just like any awards thing. You can, like any game, actually, you can. There's exploits you can do basically by targeting the right category and this and that, and it's a lot of effort just to take part. Okay, so Myers-Briggs, I get it now, Dispose. Has he moved to another city just to do a tat for a client? So do they come to you, or are you happy to travel?
Most of the time they come to me. Depends on where they are, who they are, what kind of relationship I have with them.
Yep.
And then, the likes of nothing Jordan. He was a very emotional especially when I was over home last Sunday.
Yeah, so it's
it was a memorial for him, for his daughter. It was weird too, the timing for it. Because I started the second session of his tattoo on Sunday. And it was actually his daughter's anniversary the Saturday prior.
Oh, wow.
That was pretty wild, and that was a bit of work out.
Yeah, so it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Dispose. They have tattoo festivals in San Diego, like the voting system. So that's like an audience voting thing.
Yeah, well, that's like any fucking voting thing. Just because you voted doesn't mean that voting counts.
It's good. Yeah, it could be a popular thing. Hissing, can we get a glass?
Huh?
I'm just going to get a glass of milk. So if you want to talk to chat for a minute.
Yeah, see chat. Yeah. Whatever. Interesting question. Yeah. No, I'm good at multitasking, but I can't tattoo and read chat.
Alrighty, I am back. Ems has 4 tattoos. Sing Careless Whisper. Did you sing Careless Whisper to them? Alrighty, here's the milk. There you go, Ray. GG's.
I'm just going to do all this probably around. And that's kind of good that'll be about me, I think. So,
Yeah. No, we can wrap this up. I think one of the earlier questions that's gone now that I think I remember was whether I would get Dust to do a tattoo. Hell yeah. I have one
absolutely.
tattoo, which is I got done. It was my wedding anniversary. My wife got my first wedding anniversary. She got an eternity ring, and I got a tattoo. It's nothing special. It's here it is. It's really basic. That's it there. But it meant something to me at the time. There's a story behind it, and I just drew that at the shop on the way to our anniversary lunch, and I bled through my white shirt at the fancy restaurant afterwards because the bastards lied to me. They said, because I said I've only got an hour, because I wouldn't have done it otherwise. It's just an opportunist thing. I mean, I wanted to get it done, but it was just like, hey, this is, I probably would have come back later. But they said, no, we can do it now. They just wanted to get me in. I said, but I'm going to, I've got a white shirt. I'm going to lunch. No, it'll be fine. No. So what happens is, we've got this booking and they finish in time, but I can't cover it up. Right. So I have to walk up through the heart of the city with my shirt off, basically like that, hanging off. And then then I have to put it back on as I, go up the Sky Tower. And so there's me sitting there during lunch, bleeding out through my arm. And I meant to get another tattoo.
When was that?
Like in the 90s.
Yeah, she was a different sort of era. That once.
Yeah.
Everyone's got 1,000 hilarious stories about the law.
Well, they also gave me bad advice on how to care for it. Like they said, just make sure put moisturizer, keep moisturizing it, and so I was doing.
They didn't douse it. They didn't douse it with metho, did they?
No, they didn't. They didn't do that. But because I heard moisturize and I did that, it gave it a marbled effect, and I had to go back a month later and get it redone because it turned it to shit. And I was surfing a lot at that stage as well. So.
It's naked. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, no, that's all good.
My tailbone hurts more than my leg.
Yeah, no, it's about at that point where we said we'd probably go to. So I think I've asked all the questions I had. I think I got most of the ones that I saw from earlier. Like I said, if I don't seem to have the ability to go back too far. If you've got any questions to close it off, chat, now's the chance to ask. Anything that we've missed? It's a nice feeling getting tattooed, like a massage. Well, the outline is I think a bit more painful, and then they use a Jaws machine essentially to do that was it for my one. And that took it was easy. It was an hour, I think. And I meant to get another one before. Like the tribal style tattoos became really passe. There was like an armband. I was thinking about getting that, and then everybody got them, and I'm so glad I didn't because they just look not so great now.
They could have been compromising to the friendship.
And yeah, and so I got a little bit, and then I could never think of what I would get as a second tattoo. So it's just not happened. You want Dust to sing, please?
For a $2,000 donor, I will consider it.
There we go. To that, drop the money, and he'll sing.
$2,000,
actually, he didn't say he'd sing. He said he would consider it. Yeah, drop a big donut.
$2,000 donut, and I'll consider it.
Thank you, PA, for thanking Dust for sharing. See you, Cobra. All right, Dusk. Thank you for doing this. It's we've been trying to get this done for a while, and
at least 3 months.
I feel like I have learnt some more things about you in addition to, obviously there were things that I did know, but there's some things that I didn't, and I'll find out even more off stream.
Otherwise,
Oh, look at Em's. Em says, "Here's your 2000th night." Ray, bro, can you ask Dusk if he can make a song for you? Ask him yourself, Ray. Ray, Manta Ray. He's S6C right now.
Yeah.
There you go. Just he's on.
Just send me a song with a relative sort of style you want. I'll go from there. Might take a while, might not, who knows.
Yeah, easy. He's on Discord as well, Ray. He is in my Discord. Hang on.
I was communicating to him through Discord.
Right. For anyone else,
just send me a YouTube fucking link or something for the kind of song you want.
Yeah.
What kind of style it is, and I'll work out from it.
There you go, easy. That Discord links for anybody that's watching now that isn't part of my Discord. There we go. Join the 20,000 other people that are on there. We have good party time sometimes. Alrighty, Dusk, I'm going to let you go. Thank you. I do miss our COD Mobile days, but I wouldn't wish it. I wouldn't have wished that experience on you any more than you could endure.
Well, once you get past your Steam, then you can get the Xbox Game Pass, and we've got pretty much 1,000 games you should play.
Yeah, that's actually that is my plan. So part of
$20 a month, man, worth it, in my opinion.
I totally agree. I was actually discussing this with my son as well, because he has the PlayStation Pass. But especially the second that Microsoft takes control, and there's the COD Mobile, the Call of Duty stuff on there as well. Like, that's why I haven't. Black Ops 2 was the last thing I bought on Steam on sale. And I always watch the other ones, but I'm like, I'm just going to wait and see what happens with this Microsoft acquisition, because if that goes on, working and working. There's Lee.
Brazil started the snowball for that. They basically told Sony to go get Snow, and signed off with Microsoft being Activision in Brazil.
Oh wow. Yeah, so I've got a list of stuff, guys, that I'm slowly working through. Obviously, the Rainbow Six stuff is deliberately tied in, leading up to mobile, and we're getting close there. But yeah, just going to work through that list, and then the plan is that I will get an Xbox Game Pass, and that will change things, because it means that when things are used, imagine Modern Warfare 2 that's just come out, everybody's got it. I always wait till it goes down in price, whereas I'll be able to get it as soon as it comes out.
Yeah, once it goes through, I imagine it won't take too much longer now, because like I said, Brazil started the Mexican wave, if you want to call it.
Mexican wave. Love it. Alright, Dusk, I'm going to sign off of Discord here, and thank you very much for the opportunity too. Thank you for sharing your story with us. And if you've got anything you want to add later, just maybe drop it in the chat here when it's up. Also, if I can ask, when you've finished your leg there, when you finished it, if you can put a photo on Instagram and tag me on it, and I'll share that as well when it's done. Oh, please. So I'll send you a picture on Discord. Okay, sounds good. Alrighty, bud. I'm going to disconnect now. Right. Cheers. Thank you. Okay, everybody. Okay, let's bring this. Where is OBS? Bring it back to my face. Oof. Circles back. Okay, now where's the chat? There's the chat. Show it again. Okay. Oh, that's, hang on. I have to open up OBS. I can't even see if I can see it. You can't. There you go. Oh, God. There it is. I'm holding it awkwardly, so it's not quite symmetric, but you can see that scar there? I fell on a fence and was close to running it. Yeah, like I say, it's nothing special, but it had meaning to me, at the time. I mean, it technically still does. Yeah, yin yang. So I am one part and my wife is the other. So our DMs. Oh yeah, what do we have to say there? Oh, nothing contentious at all. It's just us comparing our file sizes. Hang on, I'm going to move this up here because I'm out of sync with the camera. Okay. All right. Caught him now. Nah, I'm going to go to bed, Ray. But Dale, it's a Dale. Maybe tomorrow. Thursday tomorrow. No, I'm gonna make sure I get to bed earlier than normal. Love that Dusty did this live. Yeah, well, he actually didn't. I think he thought I was gonna do it like just record it and then edit it down, but because he's doing his tattoo live while he's doing it, it's like, one, just make it a live experience. Also, it helps you guys. I think pretty much everyone watching knows Dusk, so it was your chance to ask questions as well. So, oh, tomorrow night band night. Damn. I've lost a day because we had a public holiday on Monday, so it screwed me up a little bit. Yeah, you're right. Tomorrow night's band night. Oh, well. Thursday then. Your head synced because of your headphones. Gotcha. I was going to say something. Oh, yeah, Lee. Thanks for being a good sport, Lee, with today's content. I couldn't resist. Talk with Dusk a lot, so didn't have questions. Yeah, that's all fine. Bald head, sexy AF. Nice. That's what we'd love to hear. Okay. All right. Thank you again, Dusk. Thank you, everybody, for taking part. I really enjoyed this. I will change the title and do a description later. But there you go. Different. We've done live interviews before, but normally it's while playing the game. So if it's ranked like it was with Jokester, like, it's amazing we were able to pull that one off because there's potential for massive distraction. Crazy Corn, we did pre-record and then edit that later. Next one will probably be Lee. Actually, when he releases, we'll probably have a bit of a chin wag and try and get some more promotion going for him. Changing to interrogating Dusk out of the blue. You will answer the questions. Okay, I'm gonna hit the music. You guys are gonna party on out. Here we go.
When I'm dead or when I'm gone, gonna make sure my nails are long. If the worms don't get me, then I'm yours. There'll be grits beneath these broken claws. Or if I'm ash, I'll find the wind, find some way to return to the side where I belong. Said I might be dead, but I'm not God. Said I might be dead, but I'm not God. Said I might be dead, but I'm not God. Carry on. No more waking without sheets. more stupid arguments. But if I'm here, I'll find the wind, find some way to return to the side where I belong. Said I might be dead, but I'm not gone. Said I might be dead, but I'm not gone. Said I may be dead, but I'm not.